Shabbos.
Shalom to all. Today we're going to learn Masechah Shabbos, Perek Dez Zayin, Mishnah Vav, and Mishnah Zayin. And today's Mishnah Shabbat learned B'schos Shalom Zalmanu V'Zagar Samois Yet V'Chayz Chadzayim. They should be bench with a Sachat Tzlach and Siyat Dishmai, good health, Parnas B'Shefa, and cult of Zela, and B'schos Asbas Rachel. She should be Zech and find Rezivik Hagon B'Kar of Mamish. Mishnah continues to talk about a fire on Shabbos. Nachri Shabal Chabais. If a non-Jew comes to extinguish the fire department showed up. One is not allowed to tell his non-Jew, Kabeh, extinguish the fire. That's because we know that one is not allowed to instruct a non-Jew to do malacha for him on Shabbos. However, the person also does not have to tell them, Va'al techabe, don't extinguish it. Why is that? Because their shvisa is not on a yid, which means that a yid does not have to stop a guy from doing malacha for him on Shabbos. He's not allowed to tell the guy to do malacha for him, but if the guy decides to do it on his own, he's allowed to, and the yid doesn't have to say, no, don't do malacha for me. The Mishnah continues, if a child comes to extinguish the fire, obviously we're talking about a Jewish child over here, we do not listen to him, which means we do not allow the child to extinguish the fire on Shabbos. Why? That's because we do have a chiyuv to prevent him from doing malacha on Shabbos. We are not allowed to allow a child to do malacha for us on Shabbos. So when a child who's of age to know that extinguishing the fire is a good thing, and he's doing it for, let's say, his father, as the Gemara explains, so he's fully aware of what he's doing, we're going to have to tell him, no extinguishing it, no putting it out. Moving on to Mishnah Zayin, continuing to talk about fire on Shabbos, this time fire prevention. One is allowed to take a ka'ara, like a pot or a pan or a bowl of sorts, and overturn it on top of a nair, on top of a lamp, so that a beam doesn't catch on fire. He realizes that his lamp is burning a little too high, might catch on a beam which is nearby, maybe he was placed a little too close to the beam, and he's afraid that this beam is going to catch on fire. So he's not allowed to extinguish the fire, but he is allowed to take a pot and put it on top of the nair to prevent the fire from catching on the beam. Now, once we're talking about using a pot or a pan for something like this, the Mishnah continues to talk about something else. One's allowed to take a pot and place it on top of excrement. Now, this is not excrement of a katan, because a child's excrement is allowed to be removed on Shabbos. That's considered a graf shel rei. It's something which is mos, it's something which is disgusting, and it's allowed to be moved on Shabbos. So why are we taking this pot? What are we overturning it on? So this is referring to chicken droppings, which are in a chatzer. So since they're not in his personal space, he's not allowed to move them, but he's afraid that a katan, a little child, is going to play with them and get dirty, so that's why he's allowed to take this pot and overturn it on this excrement. So the way that we would understand the Mishnah is Va'al tsaya, on excrement of a chicken, shel katan, to prevent a katan from getting dirty. The Mishnah continues with another use of overturning this pot. Va'al akrav, one can put it on top of a scorpion, shloi tishach, so it doesn't bite anyone. Now Rav Yehuda says, a story regarding taking a pot and putting it on top of a scorpion on Shabbos so that it doesn't bite anyone was brought to Rabbi Yechim and Zakkai in Arav, which was a place. And he said, I suspect that those people might be chayav achatos because they trapped that scorpion and they're not allowed to trap on Shabbos. Now over here we're talking about there isn't 100% danger from the scorpion. Obviously if it was sakanas nefashas and it was karv levada, it's almost for sure that someone's going to be bitten and it's going to be very dangerous. So of course everyone would hold that we're allowed to put this pot on top of it. We might even be allowed to kill the scorpion. But this was referring to a situation where it wasn't 100%, it wasn't a vadai sakana, and according to Rabbi Yehuda, taking this pot and putting it on top of the scorpion in such a case would be usher. We're going to stop here for the day, pick up tomorrow with Mishnah Ches and Perek Zayin, Mishnah Aleph. For now, everyone should have a wonderful day.